insane Biden move on energy reserves. He's releasing our emergency reserves, our strategic reserves, instead of allowing just increased domestic drilling. So he tweeted this morning. This is what all the news articles are about. He said, today, I'm announcing action to lower the cost of gas and oil for American families. The Department of Energy will make available releases of 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to lower gas and oil prices for America. Now, what's interesting about this is first off, why are you releasing our strategic reserves when all you would have to do is simply allow for more domestic drilling? Why? I mean, that would be very easy to do. Now, here's the thing. We're releasing these in concert with China, Japan, India, and South Korea. And apparently we're selling 18 million barrels of these. But it's kind of a joke because this barrel release only is 3 days of consumption, U.S. consumption. That's all it is. This is only 3 days of consumption. Now, our strategic oil reserves, these are emergency reserves. This is what we would use in case of war or something, disastrous happening. I think it's interesting that we're doing this in coordination with China because OPEC ignored calls for more crude. Remember this. I mean, we were outpacing OPEC. We were outpacing them in terms of production. And then Biden gets into the White House and decides, you know what? We're just going to ruin all of this. This is our Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is to aid us if there's an emergency. And the entire situation that we're dealing with now is precisely because of an administration that restricted our domestic production. And now remember, this is a fuel situation around the world. There are a lot of people who don't understand what the hell Keystone XL does. They go, well, all they know is that Keystone XL, that doesn't go to the U.S., but they can't tell you its relation to rising gas prices and fuel prices elsewhere. Keystone XL is about getting Canadian crude, tar sands oil, getting Canadian oil out to port, and that goes for sale. And because Biden kneecapped them, they have to do it in a more expensive fashion with rail, using more fossil fuels. Now, Biden does all this, kneecaps our production, takes us beneath OPEC again, and then he begs OPEC to release more barrels per day. They respond by saying no and then increasing prices per barrel. So now we have to go into our reserves. Instead of actually empowering our domestic production and our extraction methods, by the way, if you want to have a discussion on environmental friendliness, our extraction methods are incomparable when you look at the production of every other country. And we've done that without any kind of international demand. We've done that because we understand that responsible extraction techniques not only prolongs the ability to continue extracting a plentiful resource that the planet continuously, by the way, makes. I think people don't understand basic geology 101, but it also it allows that production to continue. You want to preserve your market. You don't want to ruin it with irresponsible extraction. China has no such environmental protections. So we kneecapped ourselves and we put ourselves in this situation. And Biden, instead of doing the most common sense thing, decides to release our emergency reserve. What happens if there's an emergency? We're screwed then. This is idiotic, and it's for 3 days of production.